right, hey everybody, it's Ed O'Keefe, and I'm super excited to bring someone who I've known for a long time, who's been working with dentists through Blatchford Solutions, which I've had Dr. Bill Blatchford on our podcast multiple times already, talking about ending the insurance trap, how to track implant cases, and really focusing on how to grow wealthy while also having a life that you want. Now, today we have Dr. Brad Brayman, who is Dr. Bill's, I would say, is it you and Dr. Christina are the two head coaches there? Is that correct?
You're right. Yep.
And so what's so cool about your story is like you, when I was looking at your bio, I chuckled because it says you came from a family of dentists and you still became one. So that means there must have been a really good fondness of the profession of dentistry and the purpose of dentistry for you to follow that path.
Yeah, there really was. It was represented well. And I still remember, I've known Bill since I was a little kid because my dad, being a dentist, had also hired Bill, and actually an uncle of mine who's a dentist did as well. And I remember real distinctly as a kid when my dad no longer brought home charts from the office in the evening. You know, when I was a really little kid, I remember, I'd come home with a briefcase full of charts. I'd want to go play catch or, go wrestle around in the yard or whatever. Oh, no, sorry. I got work to do. Got to write up some charts. Okay, whatever, Dad. But then real distinct, there was a very clear line when that no longer happened. And that was when I started to see that, hey, dentistry provides an incredible life-work balance. Of course, that term hadn't crossed my mind at that point, but I got to see Dad going to work and really enjoying it. Got to see my uncle going to work and really enjoying it. And my grandfather was a dentist as well. And he just kind of naturally got this whole life-work balance thing. So it was interesting to see that clear demarcation with, oh, this can work really well. It's not, you don't have to be a slave to the grind. And that was a big aha moment for me. And that's when I decided, gosh, I don't know, I must have been 8 or 9. That's when I decided, okay, this is for me.
Wow, that's really cool. Let's talk about insurance briefly, because one of their questions is going to be like, well, my insurance cover this, and Dr. Bill and I did a whole podcast on insurance, ending the insurance trap. But this is another one, which is like, well, the problem, this guy, like, I can hear dentists right now saying, hey, you guys sound great, but problem is I work with these insurance programs and I'm kind of discounting all my dentistry and I can't escape this trap.
Mm-hmm.
So
hear that a lot.
Yeah, let's cover that topic for a few, and then yeah, I'd love to hear that.
So going back to what you ended with, patients always want to know how much it's going to cost. That's, well, everybody, anytime we're going to buy something, one of the first things we want to know is how much is it? Before we can tell you how much it is, we got to know what it is you want. So finding out what patients want. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to take a little segue here, Ed, but this is important.
Yeah, I like it.
You hear me say what patients want. You notice I've never said what patients need.
Yep.
And the reason I've never said what patients need is patients don't need a single thing that we do. You say, oh, well, they have a raging infection. They need that taken care of. Physiologically, yes, they do need to have that taken care of. But unless they want it taken care of, there's not a blasted thing that any of us can do.
Yeah.
So they have to want it first. So what do we do? How do we find out what patients want? Well, we ask them some questions. It's the sales process. It's finding out what they want and giving it to them. We have a very simple framework for that helps you have that conversation in a very simple manner. And we all know that people will spend money much more readily on things that they want, and they hesitate to spend money on things that they need. And, think about last time your dishwasher went out. How happy were you that you got to get a new dishwasher?
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, exactly. However, that cruise that you want to go on, you're more than happy to write the check for that. So how much is this going to cost? Well, this plays right into the insurance topic beautifully, because patients will almost always ask, if they have dental insurance, they'll almost ask, will my insurance cover this? And we, unfortunately, as doctors and teams, we make the assumption that if a patient asks if their insurance will cover this, that if the answer is no, they won't cover it, then the patient is not going to have the treatment done. So we oftentimes cut ourselves off at the knees by just simply assuming that the patient isn't going to have it done if their insurance doesn't cover it. This goes back to the need versus want thing. If they want something, insurance becomes a coupon. Insurance becomes a discount that they'll pay something towards what you want. But you want it, so you're going to go ahead and do it anyway. If we approach it as you need it, now patients really are concerned if their insurance will cover it or not, because we as a profession have allowed insurance to become a gatekeeper for our patients. We have set ourselves up beautifully for years. And so we have to work backwards and get away from that. And a large part of that is finding out what patients want. And if we get really good at finding out what patients want, then insurance becomes less of an issue. And as insurance becomes less of an issue, now we can talk about becoming unrestricted. And notice I didn't say dropping insurance. And there's this is patient communication. If we drop their insurance, they get the idea they can't come here anymore.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to be very clear. We're not going to muddy the waters in any way. We're going to be very clear that we're out of network. And how that benefits you, Mr. and Mrs. Patient, is Dr. Brayman is unrestricted with your insurance company, which means you get to choose the dentistry that you feel is right for you, the dentistry that you want. So by getting good at helping patients discover what they want, insurance becomes less of a topic, less of a gatekeeper. And if we as a team, meaning you doctor and team, don't allow insurance to become a huge part of the conversation, we'll still acknowledge it. We'll be very honest and upfront about it. And there's never any hiding of anything. But if we as a team see insurance as a gatekeeper, our patients will too. 100%. If we eliminate that from our thought process, and it's just a benefit that it'll help you get what you want, but it's not going to pay for it all. Now we can have an entirely different conversation because our mindset is different.
Yeah.
And so as you get good at that, you can start to change your relationship with those insurance companies and become unrestricted and go out of network. And we've developed a very concise process for that minimizes patient attrition, that maximally negates the nasty letter that the insurance company is going to send to your patients when you decide to become unrestricted, i.e. go out of network, and which they do, and it is a nasty one because they don't want you dropping out and they want to make you look like a real scuzzbag. So know that that's going to come, and we have our system sets up everything in advance to mitigate the damage from that. Some people want to try doing it on their own, and hey, great. If you've got an abundance of patients and you'd love to see a whole bunch of them walk out the door, then I'd say go for it. Knock yourself out. But if on the other hand, you don't want to see a whole bunch of patients walk out the door and you do want to see a low attrition rate, you do want your patients to stay, then working with somebody that has a good system for doing this. And I'll the shameless plug for us, for Blatchford Solutions, we've got a great system for it.
Yeah,
we really do.
Absolutely.
And so it's up to you. It depends on what your objectives are. And just to be clear, we have a good number of clients who want to remain in network with some insurance companies, and that's perfectly fine. There's no shame in it. There's no problem with it. Part of their vision is to take care of a particular population in their community. So there's no requirement to get out of network if you want to work with us. But if you do want to get out of network with insurance companies, we've got a great system to do it.
Dr. Brad, the question I would have, honestly, is I would be like, hey, I love all this. It's great. Sounds perfect. But I want to talk to somebody who can help me see if this is a good fit for me and can get me the goals or help me achieve my goals to get the life-work balance figured out, and then start building out a vision that helps them get the patients they want, build the dream team they want, and also, decide like, hey, do you want to be producing 12 grand a day, or do you want to be producing 5 grand a day? There's no judgment on that. That's up to you.
No, it's up to you.
Yeah.
We have clients that do both. It's whatever works for you.
So what would be, what does the call look like? And I think they can speak to you directly, correct?
Correct. Yeah. If you want to, you can write this down, or I don't know, will there be a link that they can click on the page on YouTube for this? It's just, you can write this down if you guys want, Blatchford.com/call.
Yeah. Blatchford.com/call. But they would talk to one of your team members and then book a call with either yourself or Dr. Christina, or we'll just say yourself for now. And then they can ask you anything they want about their practice, correct? Just
100%.
See if we can get them results. Because
very open, free-flowing conversation. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, everything is fair game on those calls.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Dr. Brad. Hey, everybody. Please check it out. Please check it out at Blatchford, www.blatchford.com/call. The other thing I would just encourage people to, like, I mean, I'm just like you. I hire mentors and coaches all the time. And the biggest question I always would have is like, will this work for me? That is the biggest question I think that I would have. And I would recommend you having too. And that's where you ask your questions to Dr. Brad. And then also we have a ton of videos of interviews of happy clients that are going through the program and have gone through the program, sharing their experience. So I would say, take some time and consume all that information. On the podcast as well, I've interviewed Dr. Bill Blatchford a couple times, and we've talked about things like more in depth on the insurance trap, but also ending the low profit trap. Like there's an epidemic in dentistry where we reward people for having high production, but no one talks about the low profit. And so Dr. Bill and I went deep into that conversation, and it fits perfectly with this call today. So that's it. Everyone have an amazing day, and we will talk to you soon.